What is going on, peeps? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. Looking at the market today, we are dropping in market cap, currently just shy of 112 bill. The biggest gainers this week, Binance Coin, BNB. We did send out a trade alert for BNB at the breakout of this key resistance level on the 1 day right here. And we are now up almost 17% on that trade. It is finding resistance at 0.786. I entered BNB back in November, and it continues to be a long-term hold for me, but we did send out a swing trading alert for BNB at the breakout of this. If you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description. Going back to CoinMarketCap, not really in the top 20. There weren't that many big gainers besides BNB. NEM making a little run, and of course this is against BTC, against USD. It is a much different story because, you know, most cryptos are when Bitcoin falls in USD value, so do other cryptos. And you might be thinking to yourself, why then trade against BTC? Well, if your goal is to accumulate more BTC for the long term, then you continue to make trades. If not, then you might sit on the sidelines for a bit. And this is something that's very unique to crypto trading because, you know, you don't really have an equivalent in stocks. All stocks are priced in USD value, and if they go down, they're down. If they're up, they're up. But in this case, you can actually trade against BTC, even if BTC is dropping or stagnant. You could trade against BTC and accumulate more BTC while it is currently in the bear market, and that way you have more BTC for the next rally. Speaking of BTC, looking at BTC here, we're forming this bearish pennant coming from the swing highs that we saw back in November at above $6,000, and we are now in this bearish pennant. Very tight trading range, getting tighter and tighter, as you can see by the Bollinger Bands. Don't really know in which direction it will pop, but we want to project what is the most possible move for Bitcoin, or probable move for Bitcoin, and it is a move down. And the reason I say that is because you see the declining volume on the 1 day, right? This is never a good sign here. Here's the declining volume on the 1 day. Momentum is falling, and anytime it gets in a tight range like that with declining volume, you know, the last few months, you see a violent move down. Now, this is also ironically the setup for a potential rally, right? You see this almost like this capitulation phase with declining volume, and then an injection of volume comes in due to either a fundamental news story or, you know, hype or short squeeze, etc., etc. Speaking of shorts, let us take a look at the shorts, because that is always a good indicator of market sentiment. All right, here are the shorts overlaid on top of Bitcoin's price chart. Now, the good thing is that shorts, you know, the market sentiment, people are afraid to take out shorts right now because, you know, again, the direction of Bitcoin is unpredictable. So this could, you know, signify that even people who are willing to short, traders who are willing to short, perceive this as a potential bottom area for Bitcoin, or, you know, it's just a stagnation period on both the bears and the bulls. Because if shorts do start rallying, like we saw here, right before the breakdown of the above 6,000 level, if shorts start rallying again, we will see a price decline. And, you know, that is what, with declining volume, that is a very dangerous territory to be in. You see here, we have a bit more room to drop on the RSI. So there is a lot of room for more downside action. Looking at the weekly chart, are we holding, let me just remove the shorts real quick. But are we holding the 200-week moving average? Yes, we are. If you look at this, the 200-week moving average is the green line, right? And we are currently holding that. Now, I believe if we break down on the 200-week moving average, this will be a lot more of a catalyst than anything that's going on the 1 day. If we break below the 200-week, I think then we are going to, you know, 1,800 to 2,500 territory eventually. Looking at BTT, the reason I'm looking at this, obviously, because we had that insane rally, over 100% gains, but it is currently acting very predictably, and we've swung this a couple of times now. So it's finding support at the 0.382 fib, jumping back up to around 30 sats. Now, because it is such a low cap coin or low price coin, this little gap here is worth 11% gain. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm buying at the 0.382, selling at 30, buying again, selling at 30, and I'm going to continue this until this trend is no longer valid. This is actually a pretty low risk trade for me because, you know, you could set a stop just below the 0.32 or, you know, initiate a manual sell. But I'll continue to play the swing until it no longer exists. If you want access to the trade alerts, again, link is in the description. ICX has been making moves on the 4 hour, right? And it actually easily crossed a pivotal level here, which is previous resistance. And now this resistance has become support, as you can see. So, and you know, not a coincidence, but this is right around the 200 period moving average, which is this green line. So it is finding resistance here at the moving average, and now this previous resistance has become support. Let's see what ICX will do. I might enter a swing trade on ICX depending on how it behaves at this key level here. All right, looking at the news real quick, a lot of you thought that the Quadriga CX CEO's death was somewhat of a hoax because, you know, there's thousands of customers who aren't able to access hundreds of millions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency. Apparently, he did not leave a way for his staff or his widow to access the funds, and he was the only one with the keys. So rightfully so, a lot of you thought that, you know, it might have been a hoax, or he might have faked his own death like Tupac. But you know, apparently the hospital at which he passed away in, rest his soul if he did pass away, released details about his death. They released the birth certificate. They released the death certificate relating to his death. So, you know, I know that a lot of you are still skeptical because this did happen in a foreign country, and some of you, you know, think that a country like India doesn't hold the same level of credibility as, say, a Western country. But it sucks because a few of you have left comments on my previous videos talking about how, you know, you were one of the ones affected by the Quadriga CX exchange locking out your funds. So hang in there. I mean, I don't really have any more in this story, but details continue to come out. Hopefully they find a way to, I know they're working with investigators to try and find a way to access those funds that are currently in lockdown. We'll move on to our next story and then get into stocks. Looking at this, why shoppers spend Bitcoin on lingerie. This is exactly what we needed to get out of the bear market. A story like this. No, that just goes to show how slow the news cycle is in crypto. All right, moving on to stocks. The Dow is down 253 points, a full percent. S&P down 30, a full 1.1%, and the Nasdaq down around 1.2%. Now, it is early in the trading days, and you know, sometimes we do see these huge dips at the beginning of the trading period, and then they smooth out over the day. So we'll wait to see what happens. But for sure, the U.S.-China trade talks that are looking pessimistic at the moment are having an effect on the market. Looking at the large cap stocks, most of them are down following the indices. A couple of stocks that I'm looking at, the IBM, which, you know, we entered at the breakout of this inverse head and shoulders. However, it is seeing resistance at the 200 period moving average, a 200-day moving average right here. A point of resistance going all the way back really to, I would say, April of 2018. So this is a key level right here, especially the fact that IBM missed its earnings drastically by almost 50%, right? So I might be looking to take profits on IBM here and wait for a retracement. Looking at Amazon, Amazon is forming this descending channel here, forming lower lows and lower highs, and finding resistance again at around the 200-day moving average, right? This is going all the way back to October. Every time it pops above the 200-day moving average, it falls below. It is now approaching the 200-day moving average and finding resistance once again. The 50-day moving average, going all the way back to the beginning of the month, has been a point of support for Amazon. I could enter a short at this resistance line here of the descending channel, but I'm not going to, being that Amazon has beat out its earnings by almost 9%, 8.25%. And we're still awaiting the outcome of the U.S.-China trade talks. I could see a stock like Amazon break through this and get back to all-time highs again. So I'm not going to enter any drastic positions on Amazon just yet. Although on Amazon, the 100 did finally fall below the 200. The yellow line crossed below the green line. So I don't know. I might change my mind in a few days. You'll find out. Looking at the SPY, this is the S&P ETF. This is another one I'm looking at. Again, finding resistance at the 200-day moving average, which is the green line. And we see the 100 fall below the 200. This is something that hasn't happened going all the way back to, you know, mid-2016. So, you know, not this isn't familiar territory for the markets for sure. So there might be some key shorts to make here, but I will keep monitoring it. There's no reason to be hesitant about it. But the market conditions are definitely ripe for certain types of plays. So the last one I'm looking at to short is AMD. Now AMD, this is actually a really nice setup. It popped above the 100-day moving average, which is this yellow line here. However, that has been a point of resistance going all the way back to October, and it just missed its earnings by 22%. A lot of sell volume coming in. The 50 fell below the 100. If it falls below the 200, then, you know, we are in shorting territory for sure. I mean, in my opinion. So AMD is definitely one that I'm looking at to short soon, but I'm going to hold and see how it reacts to this key level here at the 100-day moving average. I will be opening up the stock section within the next couple of weeks on the Discord. So again, if you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description. I don't know yet if I'll have a separate tier for stocks because I know that some of you will be interested and some of you won't. So there might be an additional tier that includes the stock updates as well. I don't know yet. These things, you know, you tend to figure out over time. So we'll see how it works out, and I'll adjust accordingly. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit that notification bell. Leave a comment if you have a question or an agreement/disagreement. Stay safe out there. Peace.